Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Network. Today's video is quite special, mostly because it is the first time I'm doing a Patreon requested video. That's right, my top Patreon, Soden Grider, requested this topic. You too can request a topic for a video by joining my Patreon. Although at the time of this video, Soden has moved on, so I don't have any Patreons. I mostly bring this up as I don't want people to think I was just using this to get attention. Seems similar to the whole, I have a girlfriend, she's in another school in Canada. Oh well, but let's get back to the topic at hand, as I did enjoy the idea of it and wanted to continue it. The hype leading up to a new Super Smash Bros. Is unlike anything else in the gaming world, and that is mostly due to the new characters. It is always exciting to guess and predict who will join the roster next. With each new installment, it seems limitations of who can make it has become broken. The boundary of what franchise could be in is endless at this point, with characters like Cloud, Hero, and Banjo-Kazooie. But what game had the best batch of newcomers? It is a topic I don't see often. That mostly stems from how objective the topic really is. Look, I love Banjo, but for someone who doesn't, that hype means very little to nothing. But if that person does love Final Fantasy VII, well, Cloud making it into Smash 4 could make Smash 4 his favorite game. So to approach this, I think it would be best to go through each game and look at the newcomers and see how the game looks newcomer-wise against each other. I'll be including DLC characters as well. So let's dive right in. It isn't fair to put the original Smash Bros. In this. The original base roster is just too perfect to rank. There is no Smash without any of these fighters really. There is a reason none of them have ever been cut in previous Smash games. So let's just jump into Melee. The internet was rather young when Melee came out, and it was a different time for gaming as well, so character introduction videos didn't really exist. We got an amazing opening though that really helped show off most of the newcomers. Melee brought us a total of 13 new fighters, well, 12-ish. Zelda and Sheik were still one character at this point, but I would still define them separately. We got Mario's eternal rival Bowser, Mario's doctor counterpart Dr. Mario, the Princess of the Mushroom Kingdom Peach, the holder of the Triforce of Power Ganondorf, the Maverick of Team Star Fox Falco, the duo of Zelda and Sheik working as one, young Link, a faster yet less powerful counterpart to his older version, Pichu to help represent Gold and Silver, and Mewtwo because he was popular, and they wanted another villain, although I would not classify him as one. Oh, and don't forget about the Ice Climbers. I barely remembered the game existed in 2002. Then we got our first WTF character in the franchise. First was Mr. Game & Watch, who I had no idea who this character was when the game came out. And then Fire Emblem was introduced to the West with Marth and Roy. Overall, most of the newcomers make sense for the sequel. The first Smash had a lot of time and budget restrictions, and the sequel had doubled the roster and expanded on many favorite franchises like Mario, Pokemon, and Zelda. As awesome as having these characters are, I think hype got hit hard when we realized a lot of these are just clones, just a bit different from the original. Dr. Mario is just Mario, Pichu is Pikachu, young Link is Link as mentioned, Falco is Fox, Roy is Marth who likes to play with fire, and then the head scratcher is Ganondorf as Captain Falcon. Now, over the years, the Great King of Evil has come to his own for the most part, but even with Ultimate, he is still a clone of Falcon, just like all these characters. So 6 of the 13 newcomers are clones. Back then we really didn't know, but we do know now that Melee had a bit of a crunch development time frame, and with basically half the newcomers being clones, it shows. As a kid, I was excited beyond all to get the game. But I was also a kid who just was excited for a sequel for a game he really enjoyed. Honestly, if that was something done today, I think people would go ballistic. Melee introduced some core characters that we all wanted to Smash. I mean, a Nintendo fighting game that couldn't have Mario vs. Bowser was odd on the N64, but Melee let us play that battle out. The hype was there, but it was hard to really get a true feeling of how big it was due to the time. Although the reaction to the crowd at E3 when it was first introduced could be a good idea though. Jump over to 2008 and we are ready to brawl. Nintendo and Sakurai upped their game a bit when it came to presenting us with new characters. The first introduction movie for Brawl introduced us to quite a few. It showed off Meta Knight, Pit, and Wario. It showed off Samus losing her armor and becoming Zero Suit Samus. And then Snake. And the hype levels go off the chart. For many people. Not myself. Mostly because I barely knew who he was, but I did know what it meant. Third-party characters could come to Smash eventually. Maybe one third party per game. Man, imagine. I really think younger me's brain would explode if I showed them Ultimate's roster. Afterwards, there was the daily blog, the Smash Dojo. that updated us with different things in Smash, including characters. The DK franchise got a second rep with Diddy Kong, and Star Fox got a third with Wolf, who was another clone. And his final Smash was a recolored Landmaster, because you remember all the missions in Star Fox when Wolf was in a Landmaster, right? No? Yeah, that was an odd choice. Moving on, Olimar from Pikmin got in, as did King Dedede. Pokemon lost 2 reps with Pichu and Mewtwo, but got Lucario to represent the new Diamond and Pearl, and Pokemon Trainer with a neat mechanic of switching between 3 Pokemon. Mewtwo hurt a bit personally. I really enjoyed him in Melee, but no one batted an eye to Pichu. It's not like he would ever become top tier one day. The Zelda franchise got a replacement too, a much more direct one. Young Link was replaced with Toon Link from Wind Waker, which I wasn't complaining about. I enjoyed Toon Link a lot and loved Wind Waker. But back then, Wind Waker was not as widely accepted as it is today. I mean, kudos to Sakurai for looking past the pointless hate. Over on the Fire Emblem front, the series was gaining a little traction here in the West since Melee and a few releases, so the newest Lord, Ike, took over Roy's spot. I really theorized at the time that each new Smash would have Marth, the original Lord, and then the newest Lord to represent the series. 2 seemed like a fine number for Fire Emblem rep-wise. Insert long, awkward silence. Earthbound surprisingly got another representative with Lucas. Yes, bring back Mother 3 to the US. And then Rob was in the game, which unlike Game & Watch, I sort of knew what it was, which was still a really awesome character to have. Did I miss someone? Oh yeah, Sonic! His introduction video came out of left field, wasn't on the daily blog first, and only showed him off a little bit. It really was a precursor to the new fighter videos we got in Smash 4 and Ultimate, and it makes me wish we got a proper fighter reveal for Sonic. The video is awesome, but just imagine what they could have done with a fully rendered video to show Mario and Sonic, rivals, meeting on the battlefield finally. So, add in some amazing characters, a lot less clones than before, and killer opening song, and Sonic, all in the age of the internet become much more accessible than before, and well, hype was pretty high. Plus, this game had the potential to be in nearly every house in the world, as literally everyone and their mother had a Wii. There was little that could trip up Brawl. It is hard to compare the 2 games in the Newcomers though, but that's the point of this video. Where Melee had a lot of core type characters that seem obvious for Smash, Bowser, Ganondorf, Mewtwo, Brawl had more newer characters introduced after the NES, like Wolf, Lucario, Lucas, and Olimar as examples. One appealing to older gamers and one appealing towards younger gamers to pull them in. But that sort of hurt them in a way, where Bowser is classic and well known even for people outside gaming groups. Well, as I said when I first played the game, what's a Lucas? So I would have to say Melee is in first place, with Brawl as a close second. Not to say Brawls weren't great, they were, but putting them side by side, Melee's Newcomers just look a little bit better. Side note, not to degrade the whole thing, what a Lucas is, I really did love that part of Smash, especially when I was younger. Smash opened my eyes to many games I'd never heard before or played before, and honestly got me to play a few of them that I was intrigued with due to trophies and just characters being in the Smash series now. Now it is 2014 and the Brawl might be over, but we can settle it in Smash. I really think they gave up on that one too easy. I love that corny line. Remember when Snake and Sonic were such a big deal in Brawl? Time to shatter those expectations. Smash 4, as I would call it, as I hate the subtitles of Wii U 3DS, had a lot of hype fuel. It was when the character reveal trainers really became a thing to show off the new fighters, highlighting them, making you want the game even more. The only problem with them for this video is trying to gauge the characters on their own and not by the hype that happened when they were revealed. Smash 4 had quite a variety of fighters, from newer created characters like Rosalina Luma, Shulk, Bowser Jr., Wii Fit Trainer, and Greninja, and older characters like Duck Hunt, Pac-Man, Little Mac, and Mega Man. Oh, that reveal for Mega Man. It was on the number 2 of my top Nintendo E3 moments. Other newcomers included Charizard splitting out on his own, and Pokemon Trainer retiring for the moment, due to limitations with the 3DS, which also split Sheik and Zero Suit Samus from Zelda and Samus respectively, so they were their own characters. Animal Crossing finally got a fighter with Villager, even though Animal Crossing had a stage in Brawl. Kid Icarus got 2 new fighters with Palutena and Dark Pit. Fire Emblem got 2 new fighters with Robin and Lucina from Awakening, which people still complain about how many Fire Emblem reps they have. But Awakening did reignite the popularity of Fire Emblem and really gave it a boost in the West. So I can see why both of them are in the game, and Robin is very unique. It was a pretty solid roster, even before the DLC. What made it better with each new character was not only some amazing reveal videos, but they all had their own unique style, for the most part. Palutena's was animated. Little Max looked like a stylized colored pencil drawing. Oh, and the last members of the base roster, the Miis, had Iwata and Reggie battling like they were in DBZ. If only we saw Reggie in the background in a bunch of the other videos preparing a Spirit Bomb, that would have been pretty cool. But that was not the end. DLC came and we'll pass over the returning characters like Mewtwo and go straight to the new ones. Capcom got a second fighter with Ryu from Street Fighter. Fire Emblem got another rep with Corrin to promote the new Fire Emblem game, and I stand by Corrin being a good choice as it plays very different from all the other Fire Emblem reps. Bayonetta also got in as the winner of the Smash ballot. And I have alluded to this a few times, and it is as good a time as any for this rant. I truly don't believe Bayonetta won that ballot. And I might get a little bit of heat for this. Yes, Nintendo helped foot the bill so Bayonetta 2 was even a thing, and was a Wii U exclusive for a while. And that is why I think she made it into Smash, and they used a ballot as a way to get her in without people raising an eyebrow, I guess. I'm not saying she didn't get votes, but I'm pretty sure characters like K. Rool got more votes. Bandana D, Shadow, or Tails, Geno, Banjo, I could go on, and since they have not and will never release the stats, we may never know. This is in no way saying she doesn't deserve to be in Smash, because she does. But to use the ballot as the format she got in has always honestly bugged me. Anyways, we got one last character, Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. See, I can see Cloud getting more votes than Bayonetta. Cloud was a true surprise that I really never thought would make it in Smash. This really should be the clue that made us think anyone could get in Smash and Ultimate, which we will get into. Where Melee catered more towards characters of the classic era, and Brawl leaned more towards newer characters, Smash 4 seemed to strike a balance. But with such a large roster and most of Nintendo's standout characters already in, we begin to see more and more unique characters. Wii Fit Trader is an example. Getting Ryu from a more traditional fighter into Smash, and it felt natural. It's not hard to see why I think that striking that balance helps make Smash 4 in first place overall, with Melee in second and then Brawl. 2018 is here, the Switch is riding high, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is finally in our hands. From announcement to release, it was less than a year, which still felt like an eternity. But the new fighters are fewer here. Ultimate almost feels like a best of, although best means nearly everything from the past 4 games. They included every character back. Ignoring echoes, we got 6 new unique fighters. Inkling, Simon, K. Rool, Ridley, Incineroar, and Isabelle. Which I still am shocked she's not a clone of Villager, but whatever. Then the aforementioned Echoes, Dark Samus, Daisy, Chrom, Richter, and Ken. What made the small numbers not hurt as much comes from how awesome these characters really are. Ridley and K. Rool have been asked for years. Ridley is too big is no longer an argument. K. Rool is irrelevant is no longer an argument. The breakout hit of the Wii U Splatoon gets representation with Inkling sporting 8 different costumes and colors. Everybody loves Isabelle. Castlevania, a very classic game that we all have probably played, at least the original on the NES, got 2 reps. Each of these characters really left an impact when they were revealed. Then there are the DLC fighters. Piranha Plant was a great rep for Super Mario, although it seems more like it was delegated as the DLC fighter of sorts due to time constraints. But we also got the Fighter Pass, and know of 3 of these new fighters so far. We got Joker from Persona 5, the Hero, a representation of the Dragon Quest franchise, and Banjo-Kazooie. Each of these left huge impacts on their fan bases. In the West, Dragon Quest is not as big as it is in Japan. It is huge there, so Hero was a great choice. Plus, it's good for us in the West. We're going to get a chance to try out Hero, and, well, Dragon Quest XI comes out in September. I think I'm going to have to pick that up. Joker is a popular character in recent years with Persona 5. Persona 5 was actually one of the biggest games of that year, and that year included Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. And I've talked about Banjo-Kazooie enough. Well, I haven't. I have another video I'm working on, but now is not the time. Banjo-Kazooie is an awesome choice. And you probably guessed where this is going. Ultimate wins. Yes, every game has great newcomers. I wouldn't say any of them have failed to bring awesome new fighters for us to play as. But the impact of K. Rool coming is bigger than Bowser for me. Of course Bowser was coming, but King K. Rool? Yes, we wanted him in, but the chances were slim. After Brawl, third-party characters became feasible and added to the impact Smash 4 and Ultimate had with these new fighters. And Ultimate still has at least 2 spots left. because I do theorize we're getting a Fighter Pass Season 2 once this one's done. As mentioned before, this is very objective to myself. I try to be neutral as possible, but hey, no one's perfect. I have loved every game in the Smash series, and I can't wait to see who will join the roster next for Super Smash Bros. Thank you for joining me here at the Nintendo Network. What game has your favorite newcomers? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and if you feel like it, help me out on Patreon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go pray to the gods that somehow, some way, Geno makes it into those last 2 spots.